All right, what's up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Welcome back to today's stream. Hope you guys are all doing well. What is up, Johnny M, my favorite moderator? Let's look at, obviously, as we talked about yesterday, there's some football games going on right now. So I'm probably not going to go on a ton of time, but I think the Bucks are on right now. Let's see. What's up, EUC Scotland? Took a leaf. Nice. Portugal's cool, man. Portugal. I almost went to some crypto event in Portugal like a couple months back. Didn't quite make it, but it's all right. So yeah, and I think right now, there's just not too much movement yet. Kind of still waiting for these longs to kind of play out. And they're obviously pretty large positions, so hopefully they'll play out pretty well. And I think they will. And I mean, even if they don't, I think there's a lot of opportunities now for kind of the swing longs where it's like a good, potential. And if you guys, obviously, use risk management, never risk more than you're willing to lose. But, something like this, trying to get up to, well, I don't know, about 106, probably 102 to be safer, something like that, almost a 2-to-1, I think would work out, pretty well. And if you guys are interested in that, BloFin and BYDFI got some good bonuses right now, 20% cash back. This one ended on BloFin. I think we're going to get a new one, but BYDFI, check out. This one's still going on for about another 10 days. Deposit 1K, get 200. Deposit 20K, get 2,000. So a lot of potentials right there. Check it out if you guys are interested. What's up? From Sydney. What's up? Person from Sydney. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, I mean, I think that breaking above 92 or getting to 92 above there is a big turning point. I think once you get there, you should break up higher and then get up to that 101, 102. Maybe given how things generally have been moving, maybe it's going to be a slow kind of grind upward into the end of this month. I generally think that Powell probably will knock us down. We'll see what happens with oil prices with this Venezuela thing. It's all about oil. A lot of it, all about oil, obviously. I don't know, some altcoins right now. I mean, trying to make higher lows on Chainlink. Some of these, it's just, I want to wait and see what can outperform Bitcoin over the next 4 to 6 months, and I think those will be good things to buy. I mean, obviously, altcoins have been very risky business, but depending on what happens here, you may see 165 for Solana. Those are big, kind of places, big places, maybe 150, 160, and then we'll see what happens. I think the thing that we want to realize, guys, and I always appreciate you guys smashing the like button, yeah, check it out, is, the 2 week here, you're getting that nice trigger wave, which is good, but the last time, kind of in this cycle, what we saw here was the jump up there, and it came down. Obviously there came down. Not all of them are the best of the best. That one came down. So most of these do, where we are in kind of the cycles, most of these do come down farther. I'm looking at this, if we can do this situation, summer. I think Crypto Face mentioned summer as being like the bloody time to get in, maybe 50K, that kind of area, and that's where like nobody's, everybody's kind of scared away, I guess. But I think just in general, it's a pretty good deal. Bitcoin at 50K, 40 to 60K would be, kind of a really good deal in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at there. Curious about stock market performance. Oops, that was that one. Actually, let's go to, just curious about stock market performance today. Obviously, I don't think too much happened. Just kind of been still same old. Nasdaq slightly down, S&P slightly up, Dow slightly up. So, yeah, Norway's electronic vehicles, they have their own. Wow, 96. Yeah. Tesla sales, yeah. Well, we don't like Tesla anymore in the U.S. We're burning them, but Norway will take them. So, yeah. I mean, Norway's just had so much money in terms of, natural resources and all that. That's a lot of why they're able to do the things they do. So, yeah. Hard to believe what happened. Pretty crazy. With Maduro and all that. Hopefully it doesn't become like an Iraq situation, but there are some parallels. Um, Caribbean flights, a lot of them are being canceled. I don't know exactly why, because they're flying over Venezuela. Curious about the reasoning there. But anyway, so, ultimately looking at that. So I would hope that we hit this point, sometime in the summer, 48 to 50K, which would be a really good place to get in. And that's, if we wanted to kind of map out potential life-changing wealth here. I mean, if you're looking at, let's be conservative, like let's say 150K Bitcoin by end of decade, that's a 3x, not too shabby if I do say so myself. So if you get 2-3 Bitcoin, it's a good chunk of change, $500,000, I guess. If you want $1 million, you'd need probably, well, if we can get up to 200, I would hope for 200, 200, it's 5 Bitcoin, that's what we'd be looking at. That's what we'd be looking at, I'd say obviously Bitcoin at 90K, not the most affordable situation for most people. Going down to 50K, still not the most affordable situation, but better, not as bad, if you get my drift. So that's ultimately what I'm kind of looking at there. ETH versus Bitcoin, yeah, let's go with the more bullish situation. I kind of like what I'm seeing in terms of these, kind of trigger waves right here, potentially bringing us up farther to that weekly 200 SMA or something. I think this may be able to outperform Bitcoin for a while. For those who are talking about altcoin season in 2026, I mean, yeah, you're right. If this can keep going upward against Bitcoin, absolutely. You've been in altcoin season according to this since April, but the problem is a lot of people are down a lot, so keep that in mind. But I guess total 3 has been outperforming, Bitcoin here. We'll see if that can last. I think if it does last for the next 4 to 6 months, then you're kind of golden potentially. It's the problem is like what alt do you have the right altcoins, because some of them don't look as hopeful. It definitely, like, I'll show you something that could go to zero, and we got to be as objective as possible. That's something that could go to zero. You're down, what, 98% probably? Okay, 86% from November of 24. And mind you, this is during a whole area where Bitcoin's been doing pretty well. You know what I mean? Chainlink's not one of them, but AVAX is one of them. But I'll keep an eye on these. Definitely we'll keep an eye on these to kind of see maybe the next monthly here. But this is one of them that sadly they could go to zero, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Polkadot, I pray a lot of you guys would agree. Probably a great thing to stay away from right now. I'm curious about like ApeCoin, boy. Yeah, that's another one. 20 cents from kind of its peak right here. What are we down? 99.3%. Like, I mean, that's kind of zero territory in my opinion. But it is ApeCoin, so with no debt. What is? Oh, is it? I don't know what. Oh, uranium. Oh, okay. Yeah, now that gold and silver kind of are getting boring. Maybe this could keep going. We'll see what happens. I'm not the biggest expert in uranium, but I think metals can continue to generally kind of do well, for the next 10 years even. So keep that in mind. I think it's foolish not to have any metals. But I think gold and silver are kind of getting cooked here a little bit. So yeah. But I do think that'll probably be. I think a lot of stuff will kind of. Against the SPY, that's the thing, because it is a big area. I would say sideways. It'll probably come down, be sideways for a few years, then break upward during the next recession or whatever. Because if you look at, if we just look at previous recessions, here is interesting, because I don't think you officially went into the recession maybe until there and then jumped up higher. So keep that in mind. I think you could have more, though, I think you may be rallying back up to these highs at some point. It'll take time, though. That's a thing there for gold versus SPY. Bitcoin versus gold. Let's take our, actually, let's look at gold versus Bitcoin, I guess. Yeah, down, starting to go down. Probably will continue down this month, but I do think it may go a bit higher. I think the thing we want to look for to kind of, yeah, probably the monthly red dot would be a good, kind of indication there. That was low. This one could even be higher if you follow kind of these patterns here. I don't know though, but yeah, keep that in mind. Probably the next one. That could be months away. I think the earliest would be like May, June based on that. Just keep that in mind. So yeah. The curious thing I was looking at was like Berkshire Hathaway versus gold, because that's hitting that place. I don't know if she's going to go lower, against gold. It's hard to say, but kind of a big place. And that monthly, yeah, I feel like that monthly does kind of mean something here. And I do think, if gold sees a pullback, you're looking at something that has half bonds, like maybe it can show some strength, but especially, I mean, they got the new guy in now. They own Google now. Probably a small position, but still. There's that, and then potentially going higher there. Yeah, I don't know if it looks extremely strong, but based on these bear market years for Bitcoin, tends to do pretty well, at least compared to Bitcoin, gold, and the S&P 500, all that. So keep that in mind. That's what I would say here. The other thing, let's just look at the triple Q in general. Yeah, I think, obviously pretty overheated, I would say. Yeah, I would say kind of overheated there. Overall, kind of, yeah. Potentially going down to that. If you were to look here, March or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, kind of those. That's what I would kind of guess. Something like that. 10 to 15 to 20% correction this year, hopefully. Some good deals, you know what I mean? It'll take a little bit, but this thing keeps getting more and more bearish. Keep that in mind, especially as we continue forward. So, yeah, I do think that this is headed downward as well as Palantir too. And oh yeah, I forgot it. Today was Saturday. Yeah, so that was yesterday's kind of trading for this. But yeah, these were obviously not trading today, but yeah, crypto was potentially coming down to that point. So keep that in mind. Looking pretty good in some of these higher situations here. So yeah, keep that in mind. Down, definitely down. But yeah, no, I think that, little bit of a, obviously, annoying time, I guess. But there's always opportunities. I think it may be more of a short money opportunity, not for crypto right now, for kind of AI and traditional markets. Genesis Day, okay. 38.5 trillion. That's interesting. Illuvium, I haven't heard anyone mention that crypto in a while. That's got to be something that went to zero. Yeah. This is just, I remember looking at these and, some of these in 2021, and they're just not, just haven't done it. Yeah. That's never coming back. Probably Gala is another. These ones are kind of scammy to a certain extent. Gala is another one. Axie, they still exist, I guess, but, all ones that have kind of went to zero. Sandbox, down all the way there. Let's keep that in mind. Just looking at the Mutant API Club thing, that's down more. It's just, yeah, it is a rough kind of, rough kind of situation. I wanted to look at CoinGecko, or definitely want to look at Zcash. Give me one second. Let's look at Zcash quickly and see if we Hmm. Zcash there, potentially coming down. Yeah, 300. This will come down. I think, yeah. I mean, it could obviously come back to 600, but I don't know. Like, I think it will come down. You know, it's got its little rally upward, 60% upward. I mean, how high is it going to go on this relief rally? It can keep going, but I don't know. I think it'll go down more. What's up, Jay Sherlock? Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. So, yeah, that's ICBI. So, I mean, a lot of these don't really look attractive at the moment. I would say the ones that probably look, Cardano, for example, let's see, that doesn't look very attractive. I mean, it'll probably come up a little bit more here, but it's just, hasn't done what we kind of wanted. So there's that. That would be kind of the thing that I've been, kind of exploring, searching, looking at here. So, yeah, just thinking a little bit here. A little bit. But yeah, that situation, trying to get this to come up a little bit more. But I appreciate all you guys. Always appreciate you guys smashing the like button, all that good stuff. So yeah, and I mean, I was curious about I'm probably gonna stop looking at this as much. This is down to 2K. Altcoins in general, not the best past few months, obviously. Pepe's up. Bitcoin Cash is up slightly. I've heard people talk about WorldCoin. It's not something I really know much about, but let's see here. Coming up a little bit there. I don't know. It's on Coinbase now. I don't know if this looks too attractive. Speaking of weird coins, AMP is one weird one. USD dominance. That's actually coming up interesting. Yeah, I think we'll have a really good month here. Yeah. I guess too. I mean, everybody, there's that that super cycle narrative. Let's see, USD dominance that's rolling over. Yeah, I guess if this goes down, obviously that becomes more bullish for the market. I think it will come down a little bit more. I don't know what to make of this. I'm not the but I do think, in the next 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, I think the thing for Bitcoin that we want to realize is probably, regardless of where price is when it happens, these EMAs right here turning bright probably would be the time to get in. So we'll see. I think if I had to guess, I'd probably reject from 102 and then come down to 70, 60 to 70, some area like that. That gets more attractive as a buy. I mean, you get these peaks, so once you get below 60, it definitely gets much more attractive. I would say a big accumulation place would be 40 to 60, kind of there, I would say. And Bitcoin's still, it's expensive these days. Yeah, it's still expensive. I mean, 90. So, yeah. If we look at, I'm just curious about total. If you just want to look at total crypto market cap in general, it just hasn't, you keep following that lineup. I mean, there's that. I would say the 200 weekly, that was about, you went below it there. That 200 weekly has really held up well here, even better than how it has been on Bitcoin. So you're looking at maybe a $2 trillion market cap or something, mid-year, something like that. WorldCoin. I don't know much about WorldCoin, man, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that that's what they're trying to do. So yeah, eyeball scanned. Yeah. The 10-year is the 10-year been doing it? Yeah, I mean upside. I mean it's a stagnant situation, man. I mean it's kind of just thinking wow, okay, this is the city. I mean it's kind of Where was 08 and all that? Yeah, it's kind of like right here, you know. See how we're choppy sides, kind of like this situation, maybe like this, but the opposite. You know what I mean? Like if we just measure, let me show you, like this, but slant it down. You know what I mean? A couple more years, it kind of sideways, then you break downward. That's what I would guess here. You know, that's what I'm kind of thinking. But yeah. That's the main thing there. But I think there's, you know, I think there's still going to be a lot of opportunities in the market. And I think there's a lot that's going to happen here. And by the way, guys, if you guys are interested in trading, check out BloFin and BidFi. 20% of your fees for life with both of those if you sign up with my link. Some good deposit bonuses as well. If you deposit at least $150 on either of those, I'll give you one free month in the Altcoin Empire VIP Discord. Just open a support ticket with your UID or your email, and we'll get you sorted. We got a good community there. We got Nightshade in there, myself, obviously. Maybe adding on a new analyst. So trying to provide you guys with some good stuff there. It is a good community, and we do some live chats with you guys as well. So yeah, I mean, that's that. So check it out. But yeah. So let's see here. It's Palantir. I mean, there's not a ton to really talk about right now. I've been on about 26 minutes. You know, silver has started to reject. That could have been the high for a while. You know, kind of a blow off top, if I would say, for that tie. And then people sold at the end. So I could easily see this going back to 50. You know, 35% correction from where we are right now. 30% correction, definitely doable. I would say this at 50 and go, all right, let's say this at 50. Let's keep it simple. That would probably be a good time to get into crypto in general. Silver back at 50, that's what I would say. So yeah, but I mean, the thing too here is like, you know, you had some boring years, obviously, but then voila, you came up finally. So keep that in mind. So yeah, if we look at, I mean, if we look at Bitcoin Cash, I mean, I don't know, it's not really pumped out fun. I mean, we could look at Pump. Curious if that's done anything. Probably not. No, not really. Microphone just went out. Sorry about that. Kind of gets unplugged. Hopefully that wasn't recent. Hopefully that wasn't too recent, but you know. So you got Zcash there. You got ETH versus Bitcoin. Those points there. And that plays downward. Yeah, I don't know if there's really too much else to talk about. People have been talking about others, I guess. There's a few of the altcoin ones. I mean, it is hitting, you know, somewhat of a decent place. Yeah, it's hitting it. I mean, you know, because you had this wick down for October, and then you came to here, December 15th. Could jump up. We'll see. I mean, the thing too is I would say, if we're like right there, that March of 22, that's a slight issue. And you just kind of just fall off some more. So that could be what ends up happening. Similar situation there. So we do got to keep that in mind, but maybe it's different times, you don't know. Happy New Year. Really appreciate it. Yeah, good health and abundance to all of you. Really appreciate you. God bless you all. So yeah, really appreciate you guys. I think, yeah. So looked at others. I mean, others versus Bitcoin has been, just a slope lead down for a long, long time now. But it's coming up. It's coming up. We'll see. We'll see if it can do, anything here. Maybe it can. Maybe it can. So we'll keep that in mind. Right there. Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst situation. Yeah, if that was the bottom, I mean, it does look better. I mean, you hit that wick there. We'll definitely have to see. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to get going. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Check out the link for BloFin, 20% off your fees for life with my link. BitFi is great as well. Always appreciate you guys subscribing if you're new, because we do a lot of really good content on this channel. Going to be more active going forward. Was a little bit busy like the last few weeks, last month. I had the flu. Finally better. So, yeah. So I'll see you guys really soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.